Hello, welcome to Care of Literature. Friends, you are seeing that I have named this channel Care of Literature. So, I am going to talk about various kind of English literature in this channel. So, please stay tuned with this channel and please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Today, I am going to talk about Dr. Faustus, which is written by Christopher Marlowe. Before entering the topic of Dr. Faustus, let me tell you about the writer of this play, Christopher Marlowe. He was also known as Kit Marlowe. He was an English playwright, poet, and translator of the Elizabethan era. Marlowe is among the most famous of the Elizabethan playwrights. Based upon the many imitations of his play, Tamburlaine, modern scholars consider him to have been the foremost dramatist in London in the years just before his mysterious early death. Some scholars also believe that he greatly influenced William Shakespeare, who was baptized in the same year as Marlowe and later succeeded him as the preeminent Elizabethan playwright. Marlowe was the first to achieve critical reputation for his use of blank verse, which became the standard for the era. His plays are distinguished by their overreaching protagonists. Themes found within Marlowe's literary works have been noted as humanistic with realistic emotions, which some scholars find difficult to reconcile with Marlowe's anti-intellectualism and his catering to the prurient tastes of his Elizabethan audience for generous displays of extreme physical violence, cruelty, and bloodshed. Well, now I am entering in the topic of Dr. Faustus. It was just an introduction about Christopher Marlowe. You can read about him in internet in many places. So I am requesting you to go there and read about him. As when you are studying literature, you really need to know about the base. You need to know about Christopher Marlowe. You need to know about Elizabethan era. So let's start. Now I am going to focus about Dr. Faustus. He was a well-respected German scholar who grows dissatisfied with the limits of traditional forms of knowledge, logic, medicine, law, and religion, and decides that he wants to learn to practice magic. His friends Valdez and Cornelius instruct him in the black arts, and he begins his new career as a magician by summoning up Mephistopheles, a devil. Despite Mephistopheles' warnings about the horrors of hell, Faustus tells the devil to return to his master, Lucifer. So, Lucifer is the master of the devil, and Mephistopheles was a devil too. With an offer of Faustus' soul in exchange for 24 years of service. One day, Faustus tells the devil to return to his master Lucifer with an offer of Faustus' soul in exchange of 24 years of service from Mephistopheles. Meanwhile, Wagner, Faustus' servant, has picked up some magical ability and uses it to press a clown named Robin into his service. Meanwhile, Lucifer, the master of devil, accepts Faustus' offer. After that, Mephistopheles returns to Faustus with word that Lucifer has accepted Faustus' offer. Faustus experiences some misgivings and wonders if he should repent and save his soul. In the end, though, he agrees to that deal, signing it with his blood. As soon as he does so, the words homofuge, Latin for "O man, fly," appear branded on his arm. Faustus again has second thoughts, but Mephistopheles bestows rich gifts on him and gives him a book of spells to learn. Later, Mephistopheles answers all of his questions about the nature of the world, refusing to answer only when Faustus asks him who made the universe. This refusal prompts yet another bout of misgivings in Faustus, but Mephistopheles and Lucifer bring in personifications of the seven deadly sins to prance about in front of Faustus, and he is impressed enough to quiet his doubts. So now Dr. Faustus has some new powers and he begins to travel. He goes to the Pope's court in Rome, makes himself invisible, and plays a series of tricks. He disrupts the Pope's banquet by stealing food and boxing the Pope's ears. Following this incident, he travels through the courts of Europe, with his fame spreading as he goes. Eventually, he is invited to the court of the German Emperor Charles V. He was the enemy of the Pope, who asks Faustus to allow him to see Alexander the Great, the famed 4th century BC Macedonian king and conqueror. Faustus conjures up an image of Alexander, and Charles is suitably impressed. A knife scoffs at Faustus' powers, and Faustus chastises him by making antlers sprout from his head. Furious, the knight vows revenge. Meanwhile, Robin, Wagner's clown, has picked up some magic on his own, and with his fellow stable hand, Ralph, he undergoes a number of comic misadventures. At one point, he manages to summon Mephistopheles, who threatens to turn Robin and Ralph into animals to punish them for their foolishness. Then, Faustus goes on with his troubles, playing a trick on a horse courser along the way. Faustus sells him a horse that turns into a heap of straw when ridden into a river. Eventually, Faustus is invited to the court of the Duke of Vanholt, where he performs various feats. Horse courser shows up there along with Robin, a man named Dick, and various others who have fallen victim to Faustus' trickery. But Faustus casts spells on them and sends them on their way, to the amusement of the Duke and Duchess. As the 24 years of his deal with Lucifer come to a close, Faustus begins to dread his impending death. He has Mephistopheles call up Helen of Troy, the famous beauty from the ancient world, and uses her presence to impress a group of scholars. An old man urges Faustus to repent, but Faustus drives him away. Faustus summons Helen again and exclaims rapturously about her beauty. But time is growing short. Faustus tells the scholars about his pact, and they are horror-stricken and resolve to pray for him. On the final night before the expiration of the 24 years, Faustus is overcome by fear and remorse. He begs for mercy, but it is too late. At midnight, a host of devils appears and carries his soul off to hell. In the morning, the scholars find Faustus' limbs and decide to hold a funeral for him. So this is the whole summary of Dr. Faustus, written by Christopher Marlowe. Please let me know your opinion in the comment box below, and please subscribe to our channel to get more updates on English literature. Stay tuned with me as I am going to upload videos regarding English literature and its explanation. So take care guys, see you later.